A century-old land deal is resurfacing amid today's geopolitical storm. As President Donald Trump revives his push to acquire Greenland, a lesser-known chapter of U.S.-Denmark history is fueling online debate, involving the last territory Denmark sold to Washington. That transaction later intersected with one of the most notorious figures in modern American scandal, Jeffrey Epstein. As President Donald Trump renews calls for the United States to acquire Greenland, citing national security and Arctic strategy, the proposal has reignited diplomatic tensions with Denmark and raised eyebrows across Europe. While the idea appears unprecedented, it is not without historical precedent. In 1917, the United States purchased the Danish West Indies from Denmark for $25 million in gold, a deal struck amid World War I. The territory later became the U.S. Virgin Islands, marking the last major land sale between the two nations. Buried within that agreement was a lesser-known diplomatic assurance. Washington pledged not to object to Denmark's political and economic interests in Greenland. A century later, that clause has resurfaced as Trump presses Copenhagen over the Arctic island. One small island within the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James, would later gain global notoriety. In 1998, financier Jeffrey Epstein privately purchased the island, long after it had become U.S. territory. The island became central to investigations following Epstein's arrest on sex trafficking charges. As Trump's Greenland push dominates headlines, social media users have begun drawing connections between the 1917 deal and Epstein's island. While Epstein never acquired land directly from Denmark or the U.S. government, the coincidence has fueled viral speculation and renewed scrutiny. Trump's Greenland push comes amid rising Arctic competition involving Russia and China. The U.S. president has floated economic pressure, including tariffs, while European leaders have firmly defended Danish sovereignty.
A quiet but seismic shift may be unfolding in the Arctic. According to a proposed framework agreed in Davos, the United States is set to gain control over parts of Greenland, not through annexation, but by designating key areas as sovereign American base zones. A report by The Telegraph revealed that under the draft deal, U.S. military installations would be treated as American territory inside the Arctic, mirroring Britain's long-standing arrangement with Cyprus. The framework, reportedly agreed between U.S. President Donald Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, is being presented as a strategic compromise, one designed to calm Danish fears while still delivering Trump a win. A diplomatic source told The Telegraph that the idea was to give Trump a deal. Trump himself has refused to spell out the details. In a series of interviews, he described the ownership question as a little complex, even as he praised the agreement as fantastic for the USA, claiming it delivers everything Washington wanted, especially on national and international security. Under the proposed terms, the United States would reportedly be able to conduct military operations, intelligence gathering, and training from designated zones without seeking approval from Denmark. The framework would also open the door to local development projects, including potential mining of rare earth minerals, a prize long coveted by Trump, again without Danish permits or planning permissions. In theory, the deal could allow the U.S. to expand its footprint into mineral-rich regions while making it easier to deploy assets tied to Trump's proposed Golden Dome missile defense system. Supporters call it a creative workaround. Critics see it as sovereignty by stealth. The model is familiar. Britain's agreement with Cyprus grants London sovereign control over 2 strategic military bases, while allowing civilians inside those areas rights similar to the rest of the country. Applied to Greenland, it would mean American territory embedded inside a Danish kingdom, without formally changing borders. Behind closed doors, diplomacy turned sharp. Sources told The Telegraph that NATO negotiators criticized French President Emmanuel Macron during talks, distancing themselves from his calls to use the EU's economic bazooka against the US, an apparent attempt to stay on Trump's good side. Macron has been among the fiercest opponents of Trump's Greenland ambitions.
French President Emmanuel Macron has warned the European Union could deploy one of its most powerful economic tools, known colloquially as the Trade Bazooka, if Donald Trump goes ahead with new tariffs on 8 EU countries over Greenland. So what is a Trade Bazooka? Well, it's a shorthand for the bloc's anti-coercion instrument. It includes a raft of measures for blocking or restricting trade and investment from countries found to be putting undue pressure on EU member nations or corporations. Those measures can include curtailing exports and imports of goods and services, barring countries or companies from EU public tenders, or limiting foreign direct investment. But in its most severe form, the bazooka could essentially close off access to the EU's customer market of 450 million people. All of these measures could mean billions of dollars of losses for US companies and the American economy. The value of trade between the US and the EU is around $2 trillion. So far, it's only France that has floated the use of the bazooka, and there is little backing so far from other EU nations to use it. If it is triggered, it could be 6 months before any of the measures take effect.
As political tensions simmered, NATO's military leadership moved to steady the ground. In Davos and later Brussels, NATO's top commander in Europe, General Alexis Grinkovich, briefed allies on Arctic threats. He played down any dramatic escalation from Russia or China, but warned of serious gaps in missile surveillance across the high north. NATO insists the focus remains collective security. Alliance officials say future talks will involve Denmark and Greenland directly, with one clear objective: ensuring Russia and China never gain an economic or military foothold on the island. But as sovereignty blurs and silence fills the gaps, one question echoes across the Arctic ice: who really controls Greenland, and at what cost?